Well, they help power our cell phones, our cars, even our smart TVs. But most computer chips are not made in the U.S., and officials have been working to change that.
Now, one effort has led to a huge investment here in Ohio. President Trump took aim at it this week. Here's Josh Croup with Why It Matters.
It was the line from the joint session of Congress that caught lawmakers from both sides of the aisle and the microchip industry off guard.
Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing.
The president is referring to the CHIPS and Science Act. In 2022, Congress passed the legislation with bipartisan support, trying to lure computer chip producers to the U.S. CHIPS stood for Creating Helpful Incentives to Produce Semiconductors. The legislation was also an effort to reduce dependence on Taiwan, where a majority of these chips are currently produced. In Ohio, earlier in 2022, relying on the CHIPS Act, Intel announced plans to build 2 semiconductor chip manufacturing plants in Licking County, a $20 billion investment, with the first plant set to come online in 2025 that promised to be an economic engine for all corners of the state. Intel has received $7.8 billion in direct funding through the CHIPS Act, though various delays have pushed the project's timeline back. The company now plans to begin operations at its first factory in 2030 at the earliest. Construction is ongoing, with workers from 83 of Ohio's 88 counties contributing to the job site so far.
We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it.
Trump's position is that the government doesn't need to invest in companies like this because his tariffs will be enough to convince them to build in the U.S. He points to the announcement this week that Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company will develop new manufacturing operations in the U.S.
They can come here because they can avoid paying tariffs.
Leaders in Ohio are closely watching to see what happens next with the CHIPS Act, though multiple Republicans on Capitol Hill still vouched for it, including Senator John Husted, who played a key role in attracting Intel to Ohio. Bipartisanship is increasingly rare in Washington, D.C. This legislation passed with broad bipartisan support during the last administration. And at least for now, there appears to be bipartisan support to keep it in place, despite the wishes of the current administration. And that's why it matters. Josh Croup, 13 Action News.